Welcome back to the Overwatch Open. We, of course, are getting stuck into Team Liquid versus NRG, and already an enthralling start to this best-of-3 series. Team Liquid dashing the hopes of NRG at the last. NRG maybe employing a slightly bizarre strategy, or rather an interesting strategy a little bit too late though, with Ana and Reinhardt, only for ID to reach in and completely blow it to shreds.
Yeah, man, that Junkrat play was kind of insane towards the end, but we still have to question Ana, with only 1 minute and 15 or maybe 1 minute 20 seconds left, barely able to build the ultimate until maybe the last 20 seconds of that game. They didn't really leave themselves much of a chance. Here we next go to Dorado, though. Will we see more crazy strategies coming out from NRG, or will they play standard with the meta? We're going to have to find out in just a moment, guys. But, man, Team Liquid taking what felt like a fairly convincing win towards the end there, even though they got to the very end. Just ID shut them down so incredibly hard.
It's really strange to get a read on that. We were talking about that during the downtime. The Ana Reinhardt thing felt like a really cool thing to do, but if they had done it with 2.5 minutes remaining rather than 1 minute and 15, then we thought, okay, if this doesn't work, we can swap off and actually use a normal composition for the rest of the map, and that's fine. That's not what happened. They kind of only gave themselves one shot. So a little bit tricky. Dorado, of course, that's going to be the other map where on defense I fully expect to see Seagull immediately hop on the Junkrat as well. So always enjoying seeing the more... I think NA compared to EU has a little bit more diversification of the heroes here, but...
That's certainly been the case so far in this tournament.
Yeah, we'll see what funky strategies come out this time. Unfortunately, backfiring a little bit for NRG, but well done to Team Liquid for taking advantage as well. It's one thing to come out with something funky. It's also really difficult to diagnose that and correctly beat it on the fly as well, and we need to give Team Liquid the kudos they deserve for that.
And you're totally right. Here comes the Seagull Junkrat, as he's been wont to do as of late. There was a period where no one picked Junkrat, and then on defense he became very standard on a lot of these payload maps. Then he fell out of the meta again, and now I guess he's creeping right back in.
Seagull always believed, man. He always believed. Maybe no one else did for a while, I will give him that. But he definitely loves his Junkrat. We'll see if it's able to be effective this time around, though. We have Team Liquid attacking first on Dorado. AZK is going to be playing McCree. Rafa, once again, will be on Genji. Minstrel and Lucio. Meza picking up the reins as Reinhardt to hang on Zenyatta once more, and ID rounding off the composition with Zarya.
Interesting to see ID this time on Zarya. Usually tending to play... well, not Zarya. That's something that Rafa has played quite a bit of in the past, but this time Rafa opting for the Genji. You definitely want Zarya on this portion of Dorado, though. On most portions you do, but especially as you're spamming through that archway, especially with Junkrat in there, that is like a Zarya's dream. You are going to build up charge very quick.
Exactly right, and that's what ID is looking for here, really. It actually makes it very difficult for Seagull to indiscriminately rain down damage if you have a very good Zarya on the opposing team. You just have to be so careful because it just builds up so much charge and lets you get so much done. Seagull currently a little bit backed into a corner, and Meza doing a good job of zoning him out. AZK with the flashbang trying to get the first kill, not able to do so though, and he moves around the side. Needs to be careful, he's going to run into Junkrat right now, and Rafa getting a kill onto God. That's actually big because that's a lot of long-range damage and now being taken out of the hands of NRG.
Okay, Milo and Enigma combining for a couple, and that was almost... yeah, I mean, just spamming the fire strikes as much as you can, as often as you can. Seagull even taking out the Tire. A little bit of a strange time for the Tire to be out in play, but nonetheless, Liquid has been pushed back to their spawn point. They're going to take this time to group up, and actually we'll have quite a few ultimates very shortly here, including both support ults coming up in the near future. We're about to see fireworks.
We are indeed. Are they going to actually get them in time for the fight, though, really? Minstrel should be able to get Sound Barrier halfway through in case things end up going sour, and here we go. We're basically at both sides of the payload right now. Neither team willing to commit to push into the other. Just a little bit of poking. Both Reinhardt shields getting quite low right now, and here comes Rafa. The fireworks have begun. Transcended simultaneously. We've got Sound Barrier as well, and our screens are lighting up in a fire right now, but Rafa doesn't get the kills. The support ultimates are good at keeping both teams team's members alive, but the fight still continues. Sound barrier now for the side of Liquid as they continue to collapse in. They want to grab this first point. Meza finally getting the kill. There's AZK adding the double, and the sound barrier giving them that extra longevity to push in, and now they're in a good position.
And what was the key there for Liquid? They actually were able to stagger their sound barrier for just a second later.
Exactly.
They had the sound barrier about 3 or 4 seconds after Pooks dropped his. So I think a little bit of a mental mistake from Pooks. I would have liked to see him hold on to that sound barrier until after Dummy's Transcendence was done.
It's so tricky, isn't it? Because
it definitely can be.
You hold on too long, and it's like 2 of your team members are dead. What do? You use it too early. The other team manages to use their support ultimate. It's so difficult to actually time these things with Zenyatta, with Lucio, and that's why the support ultimate timing are so important in this game as NRG now gets set up on the high ground.
Okay, sneaky by AZK here. He's going to be crouch walking forward, see if he can't get an early pick after flashbanging. He's just waiting, biding his time. So patient here. When will he pop out? When will he decide to show his face? Any second now. We're waiting, AZK. This is your moment to shine.
Well, we've got Rafa.
It's got to be a kill. This is going to be a lot of build-up for nothing.
It could. I'm actually looking at Rafa. I'm wondering if while everyone is looking at High Noon, Rafa actually managed to pop out. And no, he's actually giving up here. He needs to get, contribute on the ground right now. And the rest of Team Liquid are moving back. It looks like that was actually really good, patient build-up from NRG. I think we need to give them a lot of credit there. Milo didn't collapse. They were recognizing that they were winning the poke war. A lot of members of Team Liquid were slowly getting down, and they had to back up, they had to heal up, and now they're coming in for M2.
Okay, God's up top. He's going to be whittling down that Reinhardt shield. Both Reinhardt shields on the verge of collapsing, and Pooks will drop his sound barrier. Rafa already down and out of this fight, and actually that sound barrier is going to force out the Transcendence from, it looks like that's from Dehang. Indeed it is.
Oh, and the second Zushi Blade coming out from Seagull now, trying to get a couple of kills. He spots Meza, gets him, looking for Milo as well. And, oh, pardon me, God's managing to get the double in the thick of that too. So Team Liquid getting completely and utterly pushed back. Seagull and God's combining there for some absolutely excellent DPS play.
Han, look at this. ID deciding to switch on over to Junkrat again, and this time on attack. Interesting stuff coming out from ID. He's been favoring this hero a lot and using it to great effect. Problem for Junkrat is he's basically, if there was a matchup with, get 1v1 matchup, I should say, against Genji, he's going to get dominated every single time. It's not a good matchup at all for Junkrat. So let's see if this pays off. Let's see if the spam, the errant spam, does what it needs to. Enigma, a little bit too aggressive. A very nice flashbang comes around from AZK. AZK will go down to Seagull, but that is 3 kills going the way of Team Liquid. They now have a 1-man advantage. They maintain that 1-man advantage for a second here, but looks like it's going to be enough time for NRG to at least regroup and stop this payload from getting to the next checkpoint. Their spawn point a little bit closer than the attacking team, so they have enough time here.
And so far, ID has actually been quite effective on this attacking Junkrat, basically laying indiscriminate damage, specifically up above, getting triggered straight away, not quite able to get the kill to start off with. Milo there, getting stuck and basically on about half health, and here comes the Riptire from Junkrat as well, patiently waiting for an opportunity. Oh no, it gets spotted by Zenyatta. This is going to be a little bit of an awkward duel, and it does actually get taken out by Dummy. But here we go, round 2, Zenyatta versus Junkrat. That's going to be going on in the back, but hang on a second, 2v1 with a Reaper, that's just unfair.
Okay, and Dehang forced to push back as Enigma. Easy pickings. That is not a great matchup if we're going to keep going with that analogy for Zenyatta. But Enigma, it sort of feels like he's by himself. Of course, he's got friendly Zenyatta. He's got Milo, who's switched on over to, of course, Winston. Going to tickle everyone down. But back to the drawing board for Liquid with only 50 seconds left. Looks to me like they are going to have enough ultimates to make this happen. But they got to combo them together here. And push is one.
Zenyatta will have something. We've got Rafa and Dehang both with their ultimates more or less available. That gives 4 for Team Liquid at the moment. NRG have to be patient. They have 5 ultimates available. They can absolutely stop this entirely. ID trying to be a little bit sneaky on the card. Here comes Seagull. He's looking to chop. Immediate Transcendence coming out though from Dehang. Meza, the only person down for Team Liquid at the moment. Gods as well for NRG is currently 5-on-5 on top of the payload. Transcendence coming down for NRG as well, so that's pretty good timing. Enigma with the Death Blossom, he gets taken out, and right now it's 4-on-4. Both teams trading kills, but NRG starting to get the better, and Team Liquid are looking like they're going to get held here.
Yeah, Seagull is making it happen, and with just a couple of seconds on the clock, they're going to expire. Team Liquid, this is their last chance. ID will go down. The Monkey Rage will expire as well. That is yet another kill for Seagull as the Genji Rafa jumps onto the point. It's not going to be enough, though. NRG is going to hold here almost for sure. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed,
it's
it's going
just
to happen. Liquid, they looked okay at points throughout this map, but NRG, they had what it took to keep that payload from rolling even onto the into the third and final portion of the map.
So NRG are making a case here to get back into this and force this best of 3 to a third deciding game. Team Liquid maybe taking advantage of a little bit of interesting comp shenanigans coming out from NRG on map number 1. No such thing happening on map 2. This Riptide
Nice
versus
highlight,
Zenyatta duel is quite amusing, but it was won by Zenyatta in the end until Enigma got involved. And Seagull there, that is the last of the combos that allowed him to finish the team off. And this means, guys, there is no stopwatch. We are simply looking to push the payload to a rather poor parking space there. And as long as we're able to get that far, NRG will be able to win.
Okay, let's see if we see any other shenanigans coming out from NRG. Will they be doing anything like this single tank push? Will it be a Roadhog and a Zarya instead of having any kind of Reinhardt?
Oh,
no,
God.
Reinhardt, very, very what is he trying to spell
He's
out?
trying to spell it in XD.
XD?
Yeah.
Thank you, gods. Thank
Yeah.
you, gods. I don't know if you've ever watched this guy's stream, but he has a strange sense of humor, and that is showing up right here in the pregame. And I definitely don't expect gods to stick on that May, but
Nope.
with what we've seen today, I guess nothing would surprise.
I don't think he's going to on point number 1. I guess technically the ice barrier around the archway does buy teams a lot of time, but
But they're
you
on
just,
attack.
yeah, you don't really have, I mean, it gets the payload there, and what are you going to do after that? Where is your DPS actually coming from? So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Gods now finally going to be switching on, and this is going to be fun, actually. Widowmaker on the first point here. So Gods, I have to say, the Widowmaker was less effective than he wanted it to be on Hollywood. He also wasn't getting killed that much either. It just felt like he was a little bit invisible. I'm looking forward to seeing if he can peek through the archway or possibly through behind and maybe get a crucial couple of picks off here.
My gods, what does he have in store? Is he just going to shoulder peek around the corner here? I mean, obviously no one's up on the balcony. He's just waiting for someone to make a mistake, and here the peeking begins. He's at least going to be able to spot everything out for his team. But not much else. I don't know about the Widowmaker pick on this point in particular. It's going to be tough.
There's no Reinhardt, by the way, and Milo actually overextending very, very early on for NRG and getting picked off as Roadhog. I really didn't like that at all because there's no shield to hide behind. If you overextend by even just a bit, Team Liquid are going to be all over you like a rash through that archway. It's so easy to concentrate your DPS fire through there, so you do have to be careful. And now he's back, though. At least it was close to spawn point, so we'll see how they do in round 2.
Here's the thing, the entirety of Team Liquid is going to be able to take refuge behind that Reinhardt shield, but again, they are in the market area, which has all kinds of objects that they can hide behind as well. So God's going to struggle to find more picks. He's able to at least start building his ultimate up, but not super quick either. So I'm not sure this is really helping the team much, and Milo has gone down now twice in quick succession, not able to get much with the Roadhog pick.
Seagull
He's
going
unfortunately
down
not
as well.
hard blue.
Yeah, Seagull going down as well, and basically they need to see some sort of flank. The entire team are hiding behind the shield, and that's great. What does that mean? It means that your team are weak from behind. So I'd like to see a little bit of flank coming out from Seagull maybe, see if they can actually make something happen. The rest of the team, though, pushing up in the face and doing a reasonable job. Transcendence being forced out now from Team Liquid because, frankly, the payload has actually moved out quite far, and Seagull now coming into the face of the opposing team, but AZK shutting that down straight away with the double kill. Rafa coming in now, and ID contributing on Reaper now as well. NRG gets sent back to the drawing board.
All right, gods, this is the part where you go McCree, right? Right?
Nope.
Nope. Not yet, not
Nope.
this time. Decided to stick with Widowmaker just once more, and still no Reinhardt either for the attacking team, so they're kind of bare as they push on through the archway. Again, Reinhardt's shield does cover the majority of that archway, so it is so important to have in a lot of scenarios.
I want to see a little bit of a flank, to be honest, from Team Liquid. Really abuse the fact that that shield can only be in one direction at once. If you're facing them straight up, as ID comes in here with the Death Blossom, trying to get a kill, unfortunately, might just end up overextending a little bit. Enigma and Milo getting low, but that is otherwise it for the ultimate. They're not really worth it. Seagull going down, though, separately after taking one out. It looks like the rest of the team are going to try and engage in. They have to be very fast, though. The Rafa is there. He gets taken down, and this might actually be an opening they need. It's a 4v3 on top of the card right now as Liquid gets sent back.
Oh yeah, this is certainly everything they needed. Finally, Milo's able to get that juicy hook after a couple of kills from Seagull as well, and Liquid drops a sound barrier. Here comes ID from the back. What? Only a few of them were up. What is going on here? AZK moving forward, trying to get a zoning ult. This is buying them time. Is this going to buy them enough time for the rest of the team to come in, though? I can't say oh man, I don't know about this push. Milo now with the ultimate is going to wear down that shield in a matter of seconds. That Reinhardt shield is down, but a nice charge comes up from Mesrar. He will get taken down, though, by Enigma before the charge continues. And yes, they were able to delay. Only 33 seconds left on the clock, but they also wasted a crap ton of ults in that last fight, and NRG will continue to roll forward.
And they did that without, by the way, one of their DPSs being right there. That was an excellent hook combo coming out from Milo on top of ID, by the way. So Seagull died very early in that fight. It took most of the fight for him to come back, but crucially, it's again one of those cases where AZK taking advantage of, oh, you think you've just got the point wrapped up? I'm going to come around the side and see what kind of flanking I can do. And that Team Liquid, it wasn't just AZK, of course, but they collapsed on that very, very well there.
Here's the thing, though, for NRG. They only have 3 minutes to get to this next checkpoint. They were only able to collect the last checkpoint within the last minute. Not great. Not common to see that either. Teams tend to get that first point a little bit quicker, evenly matched teams. So, still a chance for Liquid, even though they are getting closer and closer to facing a defeat here.
We need to see the DPS. That was a pretty great Graviton Surge, and now the kills start trickling in. It took a little while, but Rafa's work has paid off, and a triple kill comes in for Team Liquid. Undoubtedly, NRG are going to have to pull back here. We're not going to see some crazy wipe. They are just going to go ahead and pull back. Now, bear in mind, only 2.5 minutes left, but at the same time, they're not fighting against the clock. They are fighting against distance here. And the payload is within 30, or just outside of 30 meters, I should say, away from completion. So it's all about this final dogleg.
What even is going on now? We have Widowmaker on both sides. What month is it? I was about to say what year is it, you know, the meme, but what month is it? Because Widowmaker seems to be back in this matchup. Interesting stuff. The slicing and dicing will begin. Transcendence is going to mitigate most of that, so Seagull has to dip out. But he did enough damage. Gods is going to continue that fight. And Gods won the Widow versus Widow against ID, who's now switched on over to Tracer. So all of a sudden, this is looking fantastic for NRG. They only have to push the payload probably another 20 meters or so, and they've gotten enough kills to do it.
And most likely grabbing the double, that's going to be very useful for them as well.
ID's going to try and delay.
They don't need to delay, they need to win a team fight. Delaying at the moment just allows them to come back, and you have to be careful. Ideally, you want a full wipe, and you want to be building up ultimate as well. This is either a complete hold, or they lose it right here, right now. AZA coming in with the Deadeye, trying to get some purchase, not able to do that, but he is at least able to stop Enigma, and that's actually a pretty big tank influence. NRG need to focus their efforts and go together. Milo and Enigma are two big tanks. They cannot keep... I'd rather they fall back and fight together at this point, to be honest, because if the DPSs die by the time the tanks come back, that's going to suck.
Oh, man. This is looking bad for NRG all of a sudden. There's only 55 seconds left on the clock. Seagull likely to go down here. And that means they have to wait. They can't push in without Seagull. They need that Genji play. Gods is putting himself in a dangerous position. Now Gods zipping in and out. They have taken down to Hang, though. He's out of the mech at least.
It is possible for them to win this, but it's such a big risk. Milo and Enigma died, and the rest of the team decided to stay in rather than pull back. And as a result, I feel like the kills are actually getting staggered for NRG now. They've realized this now, and everyone's moving back, which is good. But now it means they definitely only have one push left, and it's likely to be in overtime as well. So it's now or never for NRG. Will they be able to push through? If Team Liquid can hold this, they just straight up win it 2-0.
Oh, Dehang is out of his mech, so it's almost like a 5 or 6. It's maybe like a 6 versus 5.5. But now is the only chance that they have, and the Graviton Surge comes out. Is that enough? Is anyone on the point?
Oh, and Milo
they need
just
to keep the overtime going. Big Earthshatter comes and kill after kill after kill.
That's it.
Liquid just won the game.
The fantastic stuff from Rafa, saving the Graviton Surge, knowing that it was likely they were going to collapse on in, and that is it, the full hold there. And Team Liquid, I mean, you can argue game number 1 was taking advantage of some good fortune. Game number 2 was no such story. That was a complete and utter hold against NRG. Very well played, and Rafa, you're going to be pleased about this, Ben, getting play of the game.
And this was actually at the last moment. This was the moment that it's very appropriate that it's play of the game, because this was the moment that won them the game. There was still a chance. In fact, NRG still only had a couple of meters to push that payload. But because of the Graviton Surge, because of the Earthshatter, they shut down that last-ditch push.
Very, very well played there. And NRG are going to be left licking their wounds. Now, bear in mind, as far as the table is concerned, NRG are one of the top teams, and they've actually been consistently placing in the top 4 here in the Overwatch Open. So the fact that they go out at this stage of the tournament is probably going to be fine. They will be in the playoffs. They ideally would have wanted a better seeding, but that's okay. Team Liquid, in the meantime, though, are continuing their rise, and they book themselves a place in the Grand Finals. A very interesting series indeed, and to help us talk through and dissect, we've got Alex Richardson back at the desk.
That's me. So, intriguing all the same, boys. I mean, I looked at your faces as I walked into the studio, and I could see Ben just going like this, like he just can't comprehend what's going on. It did feel like NRG were given an abundance of opportunities to go ahead and take us into a third map. At one, I was like this, like I sit on the sofa, I'm going up and down, like, do I actually get up? Do I have to go? No, are they actually going to take it? And again, it felt like they were coming in one by one. They were falling to silly mistakes that we saw in the final 40 seconds. I couldn't help but get a little annoyed just seeing the support and like a Reinhardt just goes in willy-nilly without the rest of his team. We lose the tank, your spawns are out of sync.
Yeah.
It's just agonizing to watch some... I don't necessarily have the platform to say this, but it does sometimes feel like they're making very easily avoidable mistakes for a team that's of such high caliber.
Well, I thought that we called it out very early on, towards the end there. We're not saying this would necessarily have won them the game, but watching Milo and Enigma both go down, those are two very beefy tanks disappearing straight away, and the rest of the team continued the fight, basically trying to buy time for them to come back. If they had just fallen back, doesn't mean they would have won the subsequent team fight. It probably does mean that they would have had 2 opportunities to push through rather than 1. They ended up only giving themselves the 1 shot.
And that's the point. I mean, that's a fantastic point to make when you realize, there was this question about the ultimates. Rafa had his Graviton Surge. You kind of knew he was going to be sitting on it, right? And you've got 50 seconds left. You want to try and burn through those ultimates as fast as you possibly can, then have another fight to go ahead and go actually with that, Sol's ultimate and actually have a real shot at it.
Yes.
Still, though, we do see Liquid pick it up in 2. We didn't get to see Ilios despite its presence in the map veto, and I can't help but feel like this grand final will be the test for Liquid now, gents. It's been so long. It's been so long when we sit there. They say they're on the precipice of breaking through to T1 North America. I think you can stop this dark horse analogy. Come this grand final. What are you thinking, Ben?
Well, it looks like Rafa's really rounded out the roster. We did talk about the fact that Rafa was known for cerebral play in Quake.
Sure.
It's not necessarily his aim that he was ever known for, yet he was still a top dueler for 6+ years. So maybe he's actually helping with the shot calling, bringing some stability to the team in terms of just figuring out what the strategies are that they need to be implementing. Regardless, this Team Liquid is looking as strong as Team Liquid ever has, and they've actually had some very good moments in the past. So this was a little bit bittersweet for me, though. NRG had us scratching our heads, frankly.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what else to say. There were moments where we were just wondering what are they doing? What are they thinking with these compositions, with these strategies? But at the same time, also extremely happy for Team Liquid to see them doing so well with Rafa on the roster, and definitely looking to see what happens in this next match as they face off against Complexity.
Yeah, and chances are they're going to be kind of hurrying into that one, so we'll do the same. We've got plenty to talk about coming into that one. I can't wait to discuss these double widows we saw popping up. I even seeing ID grab it at one point on the defense. We'll be talking about all of that and more, and this grand final that is now set in stone. We get to see Complexity playing the winners of this previous semi-final, the boys from Liquid. It's going to be a big best of 5 bonanza, and we'll be bringing it to you and all of the rest after our quick break. As always, guys, hashtag OWOpen. Who do you want to see picking up the best of 5 and securing that final playoff spot in North America? Let us know on social media while we take a quick catch of our breath. We're bringing you the final game of this 4-week group stage after this.